So the stage is set for the first of this year's All-Ireland semi-finals. Waterford confronted with the biggest challenge of their season so far against the reigning champions and still the warm favourites. It's Brian Gavin from Offaly who's in charge here. Kilkenny won the toss and they've opted to play from right to left in the first half on a very, very still afternoon. Very little breeze around, maybe a very, very light breeze. Got it back, Kilkenny, for the only 35 minutes, and away we go. And straight away a pile up in the middle here, and breaking away with it is Kieran Joyce, last year's man of the match in that replayed final. Colin Fennelly blocked down well, really good block down by Austin Gleeson, getting tight immediately, and a line ball it will be to Kilkenny. Interesting to see just where Colin Fennelly is going to play. That was the block down moments ago here. Right now he's lining up, I'd imagine, around right half forward, having a little look around to see where everybody is. This is cut in by Pádraig Welch into space here, 45 metres out from his own goal. A bit of difficulty for Jamie Barrett initially to try to get to that. After it immediately comes Michael Fennelly, and in the end the referee has blown his whistle for a little bit of restraint there and a foul, and it's going to be a free out for Waterford. A big, huge Waterford following here in Croke Park this afternoon.
Yeah, just looking down at the just a little tug there by Michael Fennelly, but just looking down at the Kilkenny team, TJ Reid has gone in to occupy the full forward berth, and Jerry Aylward is with him, with Owen Larkin, number 15, playing a small bit more out the field.
And back here in the corner is Paul Murphy, put under pressure but managing to get that one away. Into the centre, climbing up for it here is Michael Fennelly. Losing it, but supported immediately by Killian Buckley on this side, straight to Richie Hogan. And Hogan about to be hooped, didn't manage to get the shot away, but he comes back second time, has a go. It looks like it's on its way, but it's got to drop a bit short. Well taken down by Stephen O'Keefe, the goalkeeper. Out as far as Taig the Burka. And the sweeper gets it back up into the Kilkenny side of the field, breaks down to Maurice Shanahan, and Shanahan puts that one over the bar. It's the opening point of the match.
Yeah, that's Richie Hogan there, right? Hooked and recovers very well and over the bar then, right? And that's the value of him. You know, he's never beaten, he always fights back for the ball, and then Waterford back with a great point to start.
And Pádraig Welch gets this one away, down into that Waterford square once again. Out comes O'Keefe, and it's on the line or near it. Defended well by Waterford, they managed to get it out. Struggling, and in the end they have won the free, and it's going to be a free out. Good play there by Shane Fives. Well, somehow this stayed out of the Waterford net. Larkin was hitting that one. It came off the leg there, I think, of Shane Five. Knew where he was, had an awareness about him, went, collected, took it out, and averted the danger.
Yeah, well, a goal chance there by Owen Larkin, and it's just a little flick by Shane Fives to get away, but that just shows the danger of Kilkenny. I questioned the wisdom of Stephen O'Keefe coming out into that melee. Maybe he should have been better off to stay in the line, but you know, it's very, very even at this stage. I know there's only a few minutes gone, but Waterford are putting it up to Kilkenny.
And away comes Kevin Moran, and Moran hitting this one a little short this time. Owen Murphy's able to take it down, get it onto his stick, and then onto his right side, look about, and try and place the clearance. Going way down towards TJ Reid's side, runs on it, the sweeper, Taig the Burka immediately mops it up, gets it back downfield, down towards Jake Dillon this time. Paul Murphy's on him, in comes Pádraig Welch, out as far as Kieran Joyce. Worked up forward here as far as Conor Fogarty. Back into the forwards once again, this time towards Colin Fennelly's stick. Comes on to Killian Buckley. Buckley surrounded by three Waterford players. Getting it out here towards Jerry Aylward. Back in towards TJ Reid. And Reid sweeps it in and hits it beautifully over the bar. Lovely point by TJ Reid. Jerry Aylward was involved in the build-up.
Yeah, lovely little flicker along the ground, but that shows you TJ Reid 10 metres from his man was 10 metres away from him, and you just can't do that with the quality of TJ Reid. Waterford have to mark him very, very tightly indeed.
Michael Fennelly here. Once again, taken out of defence here by Paul Murphy. Colin Fennelly's involved, so too Killian Buckley. Controlled here by Paul Murphy once again. Looking to hit this one, but hitting it away to the right-hand side at a missed opportunity. Just the first wide of the game. Paul Murphy busy, Stephen O'Keefe has been equally busy in goal for Waterford. Up towards Michael Brick Welch. Back down here towards Colin Dunford, and the referee blows the whistle immediately for a chop there, and Waterford will get the free in, and Kilkenny have to be careful not to be conceding too many frees. That time it was the stick of Colin Fennelly that came across.
Yeah, and that just shows the system that Kilkenny play. Colin Fennelly, he's playing left half forward, even though he has number 14 on his back, and made a silly tackle there, really an avoidable free. Colin Dunford was going nowhere, heading back out the field, and I don't think that the management will be too happy with him. But that just shows you Kilkenny, the half forwards come back to supplement the work of the half backs for puck outs, and handed a simple enough free now to Maurice Shanahan.
From 45 metres out, scored the only Waterford scores so far from play. This one from a free, and that's now 100 points that Maurice Shanahan has scored for Waterford in his career. 3 goals and 91 points. From the manager's point of view, they're in front. Owen Murphy to puck this one out. Straight down through the middle. Colin Fennelly leaving it there. Richie Hogan catches it into his left hand, turns quickly and puts it over the bar. Lovely point. Richie Hogan's first. 2 apiece.
Yeah, straight from the puck out, Ger. What a catch behind. No challenge again, nobody up there, and straight over the bar. And that's ominous for Waterford, I think, if they're going to allow the likes of Richie Hogan and TJ Reid to be loose.
Michael Walsh was the target from the puck out. He's got it as well. Doesn't take it back into his hand and hits it away to the right-hand side. Hasn't scored in this year's championship so far. So stays at 2 points apiece. 6 minutes gone. Once again, Owen Murphy to hit this ball down. Last one was caught by Richie Hogan. Let's see where this one goes. Hogan's going towards it again. That time taken from him by his own man, Colin Fennelly. But TJ Reid's about, and then surrounding him are 3 Waterford players. One of them was Austin Gleeson. Got it out here towards Shane Bennett. Claims that it went off the Kilkenny man, Dan Shanahan, down there on the sideline, the assistant and coach of Waterford, in with his appeal, and the appeals pay off. Deemed to have come off the Kilkenny stick.
I think it went off the Waterford man finally. I think just off his shin bone, I think, and that I think that was a wrong decision. Austin Gleeson, number 6, but he's playing around the middle of the field in a sort of a free roll.
Cuts it up beautifully and it lands over the bar. He's an expert at that. His first this afternoon. 8 points in this year's championship so far, and Waterford lead by 3 points to 2. What a lovely cut up that was.
Yeah, it's a wonderful skill to have, Ger. You know, some players have it and some players haven't, but Austin Gleeson certainly, and that was an enticing angle for him, but that'll give him plenty of confidence now as he squares up against Michael Fennelly.
Great catch by Tyke de Bourke again. Another one that he's collected. Jake Dillon comes deep then to take it from him. Attracts 3 Kilkenny players to him, then feeds it in as far as Shane Bennett. Taking on Shane Prendergast. Even though Prendergast is 29 years of age, he's inexperienced at this level, and they put an 18-year-old Shane Bennett in on top of him. Interesting matchup, that one.
Yeah, Joe, that would have cause for concern, really, because Waterford have hit, Brick Walsh there now, and Shane Bennett hit 2 balls really from poor angles when they might have been better off holding on or moving the ball across the middle.
Joey Holden down towards Larkin. Again, the sweeper comes in, and once again, de Bourke gets it away. He's cleaning up most things. Down towards Colin Dunford. Dunford has pace, able to take on the defence. Murphy goes in, robs him brilliantly. That's a great bit of stealing that time by Paul Murphy from Danefort. Big one down onto the 45-metre line, down towards his clubmate Richie Hogan. Hogan hand passes it off here. Larkin steps inside. Larkin hooked. Second time of asking, puts it wide. It was a great chance. Really good opportunity that time.
Well, when you see Richie Hogan, he grabbed the ball, he saw Larkin outside, looked at him, timed the pass. I think Owen got a little bit greedy there, might have been better off just to flick it over the bar. Great catch there again from Tyke de Bourke, the sweeper, but you'd have to say that, that's 2 goal chances maybe that Kilkenny have got, and that's ominous, as I said, for Waterford.
Donal against Dublin, we saw Rhino Dwyer in on the sweeper. Today, I don't see Kilkenny putting a man in on him so far, but here comes Jerry Elwood taking on Noel Connors. Connors rarely fouls, sticks to his task, gets it under control, neat play. Back out to de Bourke again. Oh, living dangerously. That's poor play. Walter Welch stepping in here. The big man taken down. Referee doesn't blow his whistle. De Borca gets it away. And it's gone out over the sideline. Again, a moment of peril there for Waterford, playing it too short. And in stepped Walter Welch. Now, was he in on top of the goalkeeper? He's a big, strong man.
To me, that was a definite free. What you say, Stephen O'Keefe put his two hands around him and just pulled him down, right? You could see two arms locked around him there, right? Definite free that Kilkenny, you know, if it's a one-point game at the end, you know, they'll have cribs.
No free given. And we also had that dodgy line ball a little while ago there that you were saying came off the wrong leg, and it ended up with a point for Austin Gleeson. Small things, but important all the same.
Small things always decide championship matches, particularly if they're tight, Joe.
Richie Hogan's got to take this one. Just over 10 minutes are gone. Cuts it in well. Inside towards Jerry Aylward. He's surrounded by Waterford players. They manage to get it away. Out towards Dunford. Does well. Moves quickly. Controls it neatly. Takes on a couple of players. And in the end, it is Colin Fennelly who knocks it away out of play. It'll be a line ball to Waterford. But Waterford have settled very well, and they'll be happy to be 3 points to 2 in front after nearly 11 minutes of play.
Yeah, well, Kilkenny have seemed to go man-to-man in their defence. Kieran Joyce, the centre-back, is picking up Colin Dunford when Dunford comes to centre-forward. But Dunford moves in then, and Killian Buckley seems to pick him up. So Waterford are being very, very fluid up front. Kilkenny are trying to play man-to-man, as I said, with Colin Fennelly coming back to supplement their defensive capabilities.
Michael Walsh couldn't hold on to that one. It was the other number 14, Colin Fennelly, initially who came in. And now it's worked out of danger here, involving Conor Fogarty. Fogarty does well. Aware that he could be hooked, managed to get that ball away, having shortened the grip on the stick, inside towards TJ Reid, runs into a hefty shoulder, but it's not flush shoulder on shoulder, and you can see Kevin Moran there with his hands and his hips there, just questioning that one. Have a look at it again here. Well, Moran was saying it was shoulder to shoulder.
Well, when you stand your ground, but the thing is, Joe, once you make a forward movement, as Kevin Moran made there, the referee will almost, you know, blow against you. If Kevin Moran had just stood his ground, it might have had the same effect. But once you go forward into a play like that, if it's not bang on the shoulder, referees will always give the decision against you.
TJ Reid has scored one already in this match from open play. Really crafty player. 2 goals and 11 points scored so far in what is now his 6th All-Ireland semi-final match. So 50 metres out, rolled up confidently and dispatched with ease. That's 2 for him, a 3rd for Kilkenny. Teams level once again, level for the 3rd time. Quick puck out. Intended there for Austin Gleeson, who indeed has gone more forward in this match, as he did in the game against Dublin in the quarter-final as well, foregoing his centre-back spot as that one is struck well. And the goalkeeper comes, collects. It was Pádraig Walsh who was hitting it into the square that time.
Yeah, if you watch it come across, Stephen O'Keefe came confidently for the ball and took it well. And the cornerbacks did their job, just to concentrate on the forwards, make sure they don't get to the ball. But a good catch for Stephen O'Keefe. That gave him a bit of confidence, seeing as he missed the one earlier.
And he takes this free right down through the centre. Michael Walsh coming front, but it's taken away from him by Michael Fennelly. Back in as far as Killian Buckley, the UCD student. Across to TJ Reid, beautifully held. After him there went Dara Fikes, couldn't get to him. Walter Welch slips it inside the Burka. Next takes on Kevin Moran. Looks to try and get the space to hit his shot. Hits it in, but hits it poorly. And it's gone wide, and that's a 3rd wide for Kilkenny. And they still locked on 3 points apiece. Well, he's had a few opportunities now, Walter Welch.
Yeah, when the angle's a bit tighter, it might be better off if he just recycled the ball, turned back out to the wing and just knocked it back out again to TJ Reid. And Kilkenny have had a few chances now that they've some wide, and that will give confidence to Waterford.
Kieran Joyce left that one behind to Shane Bennett. And in to help out, once again comes Pádraig Welch. Slips the little hand pass beyond Michael Fennelly. Picked up quickly here by Austin Gleeson. Point scorer from a sideline earlier on, looking to double his lead, but this time he hits it away to the left and misses the opportunity. But he has certainly been instructed to come forward and play more in midfield in this match. And Waterford Had lots of people telling them, advising them indeed, that if they were going to win it, they would have to thrust more men forward. Under pressure again at the other end. It's De Boerke coming out with it, not for the first time. Needs to go again after he was stopped and indeed fouled by Ger Aylward. Free out to Waterford. He certainly has starred so far. What a great year he's had. Under 21 player. He's only 20 years of age, of course, Tadhg De Boerke. And he's going to take this free himself from inside his own 45-metre line.
Yeah, and this will be a test now if it drops, because Maurice Shanahan is strong under the ball.
And that's aimed towards Shanahan, right in there. Goalkeeper gets it, however. Just carried too much forward to Owen Murphy, and then uses it well out to Michael Fennelly. Well, Shane Fives watched that one go harmlessly out over the sideline. What about Brian Cody's approach to this match so far? Do you think he'll be happy enough with the opening quarter of an hour?
Well, I suppose they had a couple of chances, I suppose, and you know, a manager will look at after 50 minutes, 3 points each, no change from the start. But I think that's a bonus, I think, for Waterford. You'd have to say that Kilkenny had a goal chance. Waterford have had a couple of chances that they hit wide. So you'd say even Stevens after the first 50 minutes, but it's a bit too early to tell for any manager up to this job.
De Boerke lands it safely here into Jamie Varron's hands. Off goes the midfielder. Real dynamic midfielder, helped out here by Kevin Moran, wearing number 10 as he has all season. Waterford opting to use squad numbers this year, so they all keep the same number through league and championship. Out into the middle, that one has come away by Conor Fogarty, out as far as Porrick Walsh. Low ball inside here towards Ger Aylward, spills away from him, however, and it was Connors who released De Boerke. Back out as far as Jamie Barron once again from inside his own 65-metre line, but that's to nobody in particular, and an easy one for the goalkeeper to come and mop up here. And Owen Murphy switching the direction of the attack across as far as Michael Fennelly, and again diagonally in here towards TJ Reid, 1 against 2, and TJ Reid gets the better of the two, and TJ Reid can score and does. A goal coming after 17 minutes. Weight of numbers should have counted after that big ball was played in by Michael Fennelly. There were 2 defenders there. They got in a right muddle, and TJ Reid was in to score his 10th ever championship goal after 17 minutes and make it 1-3 to 3 points.
Well, you'd have to say that Barry Collins should have stayed out there. Maybe Tadhg De Boerke came in to challenge, and all TJ Reid will stand his ground, and when the break came, well, you know, you give him chances like that and he's going to stick him. But that was a problem with Waterford from the beginning. They were giving TJ Reid too much leeway. That way, a simple mistake, 2 players in, and you know, once the ball breaks and he gets a chance like that, he's going to put them away.
It's an old Kilkenny ploy, isn't it, to put one of your top men like TJ Reid or Richie Hogan in there on a player who is probably less experienced and maybe a little vulnerable, like Barry Coughlin there.
Yeah, but you'd have to say that's just miscommunication, right? Stephen O'Keefe is the goalkeeper. He can see what's happening. Maybe he should have been shouting, whether you can hear him or not in this, you know, in this maelstrom and the crowd. But there was just a poor organisation there. 2-1. One goes up, Ger, and one waits for the break. Both of them collided, and you'd have to say, you know, that's a big blow to them.
Well, one way or the other, it is a big boost for Kilkenny and for TJ Reid from Ballyhale Shamrocks, the 27-year-old. From the reverse angle, again you can see the 2 defenders going for the same ball. Goalkeeper had a right good view of it. In the end, he was unable to prevent another goal by TJ Reid. So a breakthrough goal coming at an early stage in this match, and he will be pleased. Brian Cody's 16th All-Ireland semi-final. This to be taken here by Maurice Shanahan. 2 points already in the game. It drops in and it drops over. A third for Shanahan, so it's an instant reply here, and he cuts the gap, and there's only a 2-point lead for Kilkenny at its early stages.
That was a huge score, Ger, and they needed that, and fantastic score from Maurice Shanahan and a good reply. And if Waterford can get a point back now, that will give them a little bit of confidence. But if Kilkenny get another score, you could see this game like that, they'll go away.
Larkin trying to get to it. Richie Hogan has it instead. Back as far as Killian Buckley. Elegant player, plays it in quickly. Not a good ball. Straight to De Boerke. De Boerke put under pressure, and that pressure is good pressure because it's taken some of the heat out of that clearance, and Richie Hogan gets onto it, seizes it, and drives it over the bar, his second. Well, he got 1-5 against Waterford in the 2013 championship meeting down in Thurles in the qualifiers. 2 this afternoon, and they're ahead by 4 points.
And that's the thing about Kilkenny, Waterford. Kilkenny wouldn't have come up against Waterford's system, but Waterford wouldn't have come up against the type of pressure that Kilkenny forwards put on and tied the book of the sweeper. He needs to release the ball out to somebody on the wing, straight down the middle. Richie Hogan bang over the bar.
I sense they're feeling the heat, Waterford, already. Shane Prendergast. Again, good ball down, but over the head of Jerry Aylward this time, couldn't contain it. And O'Keefe able to begin the counter-offensive. Austin Gleeson has a big role to play in this match. Big one down. Maurice Shanahan's looking in there, and it came off the goalkeeper. He wasn't too sure where that one was going, and feeling his head as well. It's gone for a 65, the game's first. Have a look at this again. Came off the head of the goalkeeper.
Yeah, I think it came off his, the side of his head or his shoulder, and he didn't know too much about it, but possibly could have done a little bit better. But Waterford might feel if they hit in a few high ones with Maurice Shannon in there, it might pay dividends.
Derek McGrath here, who's certainly breathed new life into Waterford's challenge this year in League and Championship. What a year they've had so far. Who knows how much further it will go. There's an All-Ireland final and a place in that at stake in 4 weeks' time. Once again, Maurice Shanahan called out to take this 4th time facing Kilkenny in the championship. 3 points so far. Central position, calm afternoon, and this to put 2 between them once again. And all the pressure.
All these are important, Joe, that he gets all these.
Well, he takes the pressure on his shoulders. He's settled into this match very well, striking the ball beautifully, and that's another one for him. 1:45. Derek McGrath with Fintan O'Connor, of course. Dan Shanahan also part of the triumvirate looking after Waterford's fortunes this year. A puck out down towards TJ Reid, up against Barry Coughlin. Hand passed out by Michael Walsh, beyond Shade Fives, under pressure again, that Waterford defence. Jerry Aylward comes out, and he was fouled this time. 2 men went after him. One of them was Noel Connors. The other there was Philip Mahoney.
I didn't see a whole lot there, Ger, to be honest with you. I think there might have been a little hand on the shoulder, a hand in the back at the beginning, but sometimes you're led away with that, and I don't think Jerry Aylward didn't seem to be expecting a free, but be that as it may, chance now for TJ Reid to push them further ahead.
Goal and 2 points already in this game. Always a very stylish free taker. Looks very relaxed as he approaches this. Same result as per usual. So 1-3. Goal from play, point from play, and 2-pointed frees as well for Brian Cody's team. Interesting, this weekend, 33 years ago, he captained Kilkenny, Brian Cody, to victory over Galway in an All-Ireland semi-final here. And they went on to account for Cork in that year's final. I think you played in that game. 82. Don't mention the war.
Losses are blotted out here.
Don't mention the war, I know. This line ball for Austin Gleeson's probably a little
that was a poor day. Forget about that.
Austin Gleeson this time just happy to play it in there towards the inside forwards. Didn't reach them anyway. Boric Walsh instead coming across to collect and take this one in his stride is Shane Fives. Put under pressure then immediately. Back out as far as Philip Mahoney. Added to by Kevin Moreland, not terribly far. Michael Fennelly wallops it back in. Not much direction in that one. Easy one for Stephen O'Keefe now to look around and see where he'll best place this one. Opts to go long, very long, down towards Shane Bennett, the youngest player playing in this. Breaks down to Kevin Moreland. And Moreland, very much the leader of this team, under-hits it. I think he was going for accuracy. Ended up giving it to Owen Murphy instead. Back down towards Richie Hogan once again. Gathered in beautifully. Back into the centre here. That's Philip Mahoney going up out of the outstretched legs there of Michael Fennelly. Free to Waterford it will be. Good take that time by Austin Gleeson. Tremendous young hurler, really talented performer. And then the foul immediately after that by Fennelly on Mahoney. Good to see Philip Mahoney back after a leg break last year, and sadly, of course, his brother Porrick recovering this year, recovering very well. So I'm getting off the team bus without the crutches now, so the improvement and the recovery is very much on track. So Maurice Shanahan comes out to do what Pádraig Mahoney would have been doing, but for that leg break. 4 points so far. The last one was from a 65, and this one is a good 75 metres or so from the target. Once again to try and put 2 between them. Keep Waterford nicely in touch. He does exactly that. He's hitting these frees really, really well. Looking very confident in himself. Quick puck out taken by Owen Murphy. Out as far as Kieran Joyce. Back into the Kilkenny inside forwards. This time De Bourke put under pressure. Was much more visible earlier on, but he was coming to collect those tight, De Bourke. Now Kilkenny are grouping more right in and around that D area there. Much more difficult to get primary possession, but there is a free out. Richie Hogan, the one who was judged to have fouled that.
Not sure what the referee did there. Maybe he judged that Richie Hogan lost possession and grabbed the ball on the ground. Richie would have been claiming that he was fouled first, but long range free now for Waterford, and with Brick Walsh and Maurice Shanahan at the edge of the square, this could prove powerful if they get it.
Well, the trajectory wasn't terribly high, and Kieran Joyce was able to keep that one away from the nearest Waterford player. Back in there towards Richie Hogan, stolen away from him there by Dara Fives. Back in as far as Colin Dunford. Haven't seen enough of him so far. Hand passed out here. Philip Mahoney trying to keep it going, intended for Jake Dillon. Back out from Walsh, and he gives it there to Killian Buckley. And after a very good start, Waterford now making some elementary mistakes as Kilkenny, who've had the bonus of that goal by TJ Reid after 17 minutes, have looked a little more fluid. And that time the referee has decided to whistle against Waterford.
Yeah, great block down job by Waterford, and then Austin Gleeson slid in with his legs, which is going to, it's going to be penalised. Once you do that, the referee is always going to get you. And after a great block down, that will raise the crowd. I won't say it is an easy chance because it's out in the wing, but TJ Reid is so good. Waterford will not want to be handing them easy frees.
Well, 1-3 so far for TJ Reid, playing today in his 36th championship match. Usually shows us a smooth free-taking rhythm. This is outside the 45-metre line. Beautifully over. Like a bullet.
Well, the way he struck that, Jerry, that should be shown to free takers. No margin of error. Struck it, fairly low, but struck it, as you said, like a bullet. It wasn't going to deviate much. Fantastic score.
O'Keefe trying to pick out Kevin Moran this time by winning the race as Michael Fennelly. No hint of a back injury there. Back out to Richie Hogan. Put under pressure. Blocked down well. Hogan goes again. Out to Killian Buckley. Looks up to see a loose player. And they work it forward here. And that one is hit in by Conor Fogarty. Reaching up for it there was Colin Fennelly, but it's taken away by Shane Fives. Looks about, sees Jamie Barron. Back on his own 20-metre line, back into the Bourke. Unchallenged this time, gets it high. There's 2 against 5. And one of the 2 is Maurice Shanahan, taking on the full-back. He does really well, puts it over, and he gets his 6th. Well, weighted numbers, you'd imagine, should have counted that time in Kilkenny's favour. Look at the number of bodies they had around there.
Well, Shannon's a big man and he's playing excellent stuff this year, and when Ty De Bourke he hit a Hail Mary to the edge of the square. Great work by Maurice Shannon and a great point, and now there's only 2 points behind him, and the Waterford crowd are getting behind their team.
Owen Murphy's puck out, beautifully gathered in here by the big man Walter Welch. Walter taken down on the 45-metre line, free in, and over once again will go TJ Reid. And this is how it came about. Reaching in there was Dara Fives, swung him around, and then it was the hand of Jamie Barron. And thus far shalt thou go, I think, seems to be the message.
Yeah, great catch. Great puck out, first of all, to pick out Walter Walsh, and a great catch. And then once you once you manhandle a player up around the shoulder, up around the neck, you know you're going to be penalised.
TJ Reid once again. This to put 3 between them. Oh, he looks ultra confident. Another white flag and a goal and 5 so far for TJ Reid, and it's 1-7 to 7 points. Well, they're giving away frees, Waterford, and TJ is punishing them. Likewise, Maurice Shanahan doing the punishing at the other end. That's batted out this time inadvertently by Shane Bennett. Comes out as far as Kieran Joyce. Grabbed in the air and then lost. Richie Hogan goes after it, collects it well, and there's nothing Shane Fives can do about it. The goalkeeper allows this one to bounce in front of him and slips it back out to the side here, out as far as Dara Fives. Picked up here by Colin Dunford. Haven't really seen Dunford run at the Kilkenny defence as we've seen him do in all of the earlier matches in this year's championship. Moran was fouled that time by Fennelly, and it's going to be a Waterford free in this time with just about 4.5 minutes to go to half-time.
Yeah, very difficult for Michael Fennelly there. Once Kevin Moran went to ground, you're going to fall over his back, and the referee judged that he had fouled, so another chance now for Maurice Shannon, their chief score taker up to now, and only, I think he has got all the scores bar Austin Gleeson's sideline, so...
Which in its own way has to be something of a concern, because we haven't seen too many of the other forwards get scoring chances either, Donal.
No, but that is their system, I suppose, Gerard, and they'll be happy enough, you know, if he gets this over, there's only 2 points between them.
So crouching, hitting from 50 metres out, and the usual result. It's 7 for Maurice Shanahan. It's another one for Waterford. They look happy faces. He's made it 1-7 to 8 points. Well, he's certainly doing the business. Both free takers in top form. Owen Murphy pucking it out. Light breeze behind Kilkenny for the opening 35 minutes, but it's not terribly strong. Drop by Kevin Moran. In comes Jerry Elward, taking on Shane Fives. After it goes Dara Fives, leaving it off this time to Walter Welch. Welch taking on, and then in came the hand of Shane Fives. Referee says play on, then it's Dara Fives right on the end line, and the two Fives combine, and in the end is flicked away by Shane Fives. Back out here as far as Philip Mahoney, back out to Kevin Moran, and they break out of defence, or try to do so. That's Jamie Barron. 2 between them, close to half-time. Kilkenny leading. Out comes Austin Gleeson. Gleeson leading the charge, having a go and putting it over the bar. He's got a second. The margin is down to 1. 3 minutes to go to half-time. Thrilling stuff at Croke Park.
Well, that was a great score, inspirational score. The way they walked it out from the back, and you thought for a while that Jamie Barron had lost the ball. Eventually got it to Gleeson, and a trademark Austin Gleeson score, like he scored against Cork in the championship, and again in the league final. But a fantastic score, and that will certainly get the Waterford crowd on their feet.
Those puck outs directed down to Walter Welch are causing problems. It's Dara Fives who's been given the man-marking job at this stage. Austin Gleeson just feeling an injury there. Well, this big man here, Walter Welch, is about 6'4", 5 inches tall, and he takes some stopping way up into the air. Fives was coming after him there, but the referee had blown his whistle by that stage, and TJ Reid will have the opportunity of extending the lead out to 2 once again, close to the interval break.
Yeah, 2 very valuable catches from Walter Walsh there, and maybe Owen Murphy might be better off just you know, to pepper that side of the field with his puck outs. Waterford will be pleased enough, Gerard. I think their system, they're playing Brick Walsh in the right half forward, hasn't been in the game that well.
Here's another one. TJ Reid now with a goal and 6 points out of Kilkenny's total of 1-8. We were mentioning the spread of scores by Waterford, much the same for Kilkenny, it has to be said. Nobody in the inside forward line that's on paper at least, Aylward, Conor Fennelly or Owen Larkin, has scored so far. Walter Welch has certainly been getting a lot of possession and making scores for others. Richie Hogan on 2 points, and as I mentioned, TJ Reid on 1-6. This is as far as Gleeson. Final minute or so of the opening 35, a lapse by Shane Fives allows Owen Larkin, former hurler of the year, get it into the current hurler of the year from last year. Richie Hogan flighting it in but putting it wide this time. Haven't had too many of those, only 4, and Waterford have had just 3 wides in the opening, well, almost 34.5 minutes. That's beautifully taken by Austin Gleeson. Blocked down well by Kieran Joyce. Goes again. The WIT student knocking it in there towards Maurice Shanahan. Coming to it first is Shane Bennett. And the 18-year-old makes an angle for himself. The Waterford crowd cheer. He's got his first score of this match in the All-Ireland Hurling semi-final. He's made it 1-8 to 10 points. Good point by the 18-year-old.
Yeah, did very well to flick the ball away, and he's standing in there with Maurice Shanahan in a two-man full forward line. That's almost the first ball he's got, but excellent score.
Short puck out as far as Joey Holden, the Kilkenny captain. Back as far as Owen Murphy, been pressurised by Waterford, and the referee saw that the pressure was just a little bit too vigorous there, so he's given the free out. There's got to be 1 minute of additional time at the end of a game which started late because the minor match before all of this finished level. A very thrilling game between Kilkenny and Waterford. It finished Kilkenny 26 points, or sorry, Galway and Kilkenny 26 points for Kilkenny, 220 for Galway. They'll meet again. Meanwhile, in the senior match, it's Kilkenny who come, and once again it's Colin Fennelly. Oh, taken down by Shane Fives, somewhat unceremoniously, and the referee reaching for a notebook.
Yeah, that'll be a noting for that, and lucky enough, I think that's the second free here that Shane Fives just hands around, and that could be a yellow card here, yeah.
It's the first yellow card of the match, and it's come deep into stoppage time. It now gives Kilkenny an easy free.
But what it does is, as well, Ger, is that Shane Fives now cannot tackle really like it, and you know, Kilkenny will be aware of that, particularly going into half-time, and they'll be advised to run at him because he'll virtually have to let you go, because once he puts his hand on you again, it's probably a straight red end, right, and he'll be off.
That's 1-7 for TJ Reid at the end of this first half. Shane Fives getting himself a yellow card for the foul immediately before that, and very shortly now the referee will blow his whistle at the end of a very interesting first half here. The teams go in with just 2 points separating the sides. The only goal of the game came after 17 minutes, and it was TJ Reid who got it. But overall, I think Derek McGrath and his mentors will be happy enough with the way Waterford have played. Big Dan Shanahan there as well. They're very much in it, because just two between them at half-time, really all to play for in the second 35 minutes. At Croke Park here at half-time, the scoreboard reads Kilkenny the leaders by 1-9 to 10 points. Very shortly we'll have the views of Anthony Daly, Henry Shefflin and Ken McGrath with Michael Lester. That's right after this.
Back here at Croke Park, Kilkenny leading Waterford by 1 goal and 9 points to 10 points. In front of an attendance, by the way, of just over 41,000, so a good crowd in. I'm sure they're enjoying this hurling so far. Let's just have a look at some stats, by the way, in relation to two players involved in this match here today, and two guys, I suppose, that you would have expected to have a big game today. Maurice Shanahan and TJ Reid, the free taker on either side, but TJ, of course, also contributing that first half goal for Kilkenny, as indeed Henry Shefflin, he did against Galway in the Leinster final as well, which did damage to Galway.
Yeah, I think we always say with the way the new game has gone, the goals win matches, and Kilkenny again are lucky to have that goal. But I would just hope now Kilkenny come out in the second half. Like, you know, it's been a 5-week break from the Leinster final to now, and that's what I was already found. It takes a little while to get the engine going again, you know, Waterford had a game in between, so it's a massive opportunity now for Kilkenny to really open up the shoulders and get going, you know.
It's a massive opportunity for both teams. Time for us to return to the commentary box. A couple of interesting spectators there, by the way, Donald O'Grady and Ger Canning.
Thank you, Michael. Both teams out, both teams unchanged, it would appear. Start of the second half, lots of music around still, lots of atmosphere, just waiting for Brian Gavin to restart for us. Waterford, of course, with just one defeat in 11 League and Championship matches this year. Kilkenny playing in the 53rd semi-final. They've won 40 so far. Second half gets underway, and straight away it's Richie Hogan supplying that ball in there. Once again, Owen Larkin feeds it across, and Walter Welch helping himself, or trying to a first point of the second half, but he's missed. That was an easy enough chance by his standards. Brian Cody won't be too pleased. Should have got that one. Puck out by Stephen O'Keefe. And his target inevitably is Michael Brick-Walsh, but he's been well marked. Killian Buckley gets it straight through the centre. A fumble initially by Tadhg de Bourke. It goes a second time. Hurley lost. He has his still, but this time it's lost to Richie Hogan, and Hogan is fouled, and it's got to be a free in for Kilkenny. Early stages of the second half, a little drag back that time, which the referee penalises. So he's been busy in the opening stages of this second half. Last year's hurler of the year, probably a candidate for the same award this year, along with a colleague of his, TJ Reid, I would imagine.
Yeah, well, early pressure on Waterford, Richie Hogan there, and Larkin created a great opportunity for Walter Walsh, who would be disappointed with his effort when he hit it wide, but good chance now, straight in front of the post for TJ Reid.
Well, he's got 1-7 from the opening half, and this to make a good start to the second 35. No mistake whatsoever. Hit with great assurance, crowd appreciating it. So a goal between them once again, 110 to 10 points. Well, now it's all very well for Waterford to feel that they have done well in the first half and kept it nice and tight, and only 2 between them at that stage. But if they mean to win this, they've really got to go for it. Kilkenny, we know what they're capable of doing. They've done it so often in the past. Walter Welsh, little hand pass back out as far as Conor Fogarty. Slips it back inside towards Colin Fennelly, starting this second half at full forward, as per the number 14 on his back. Goes after it the second time, has a support player outside here. That's Ger Aylward. And Aylward looking for a first score in this match, and he's got it. Nails that one. Nice pass out to him.
Yeah, a little mistake there by Noel Connors, miscontrolled the ball, and Colin Fennelly got a good call there from Ger Aylward and knocked it out to him and over the bar. Good, clever play by Kilkenny.
First couple of points of the second half going Kilkenny's way. This time they've conceded a free, and Maurice Shanahan will be brought out to hit this one from very near the sideline. Morris's scores in the first half made up of 4 frees, 165 and 2 from play. Instructions being called out there. The management team led by Derek McGrath, Jim D in the background as well, team official. And of course Dan Shanahan pacing up and down as always, like the 16th man, watching his brother now. 25-year-old Morris, crouched and ready for action. This to give them a good start to the second half, and he doesn't let them down. The 2 free takers go point for point. Waterford get another, and it's a 1-goal difference.
Yeah, big pressure on that time. That wasn't an easy strike, Ger. It was a great point for him, but he's keeping them in the game. And Waterford have pushed up a little bit more in the second half. Colin Dunford, I see, is playing as an orthodox corner forward for the time being, and maybe that will result in a few more scores for them.
Jamie Barron's under incessant pressure. This time coming to his aid is Noel Connors. Connors was forced to go off in the match against Dublin in the quarter-final with a dead leg, but they're happy to have him out there. Conor Fogarty in there to challenge. Wrapped his arm that time around Noel Connors, and Brian Gavin from Offaly whistled immediately. Free taken by Tadhg de Bourke. All the way down, missed by Dunford, not by Kevin Moran. Taking on Michael Fennelly. Moran shortens the grip on the stick and scores an excellent point. Kevin Moran, very much the leader of this team. Well, he was outstanding, you remember, against Kilkenny 2 years ago in the qualifiers, leading the charge here, and 2 between them once again, early stages of the second half.
Yeah, Killian Buckley there went up and actually blocked the ball down to him. He might have been better, it would be more benefit to Kilkenny if he had left to go back into the corner, because they have a sweeper, but Waterford back in the game now, right? Just 2 points between them.
And 3 men in the inside forward line, at least there were a minute ago, not any longer, but it's come as far as Dara Fives. Bypasses the inside forward. That's a poor final ball. Easy one for Owen Murphy to come and clear and give it straight out to Michael Fennelly. Turns around. Back in there, in between Ger Aylward, TJ Reid. Connors tries to get it out, needs a bit of assistance. In there as well, Philip Mahoney, a real pile-up outside the 13-metre line. Waterford trying to emerge with it. In comes Colin Fennelly, strong pressure. De Bourke, helped out by Barry Coughlin from Ballygunner. Under pressure home, it's TJ Reid, steps in, and TJ Reid from play puts this one over. Goal in 9 for him. Waterford unable to deal with that incessant pressure. Finally, this ball was given away badly, straight out from the clearance to TJ Reid, and he made Waterford punish.
Yeah, with Barry Coughlin there, this is his first year at this level, and he just made a poor mistake there. Had plenty of time maybe to effect a good delivery, and poor clearance punished by TJ Reid.
And another poor clearance straight out to Killian Buckley. His second point in this year's championship. Another clearance that is punished here, again quite emphatically, and now it's 113 to 12 points, some 6 minutes into the second half. Waterford need to reply. Austin Gleeson going up there, pressurised by Conor Fogarty, still pressurised. Trying to help out was Walter Welsh. Hand pass slipped out here as far as Padraig Welsh. Taking off, Jake Dillon goes after him, can't get to him. Little block by Dara Fives, breaks into the hands of Jake Dillon eventually. Game picks up a little bit. Jamie Barron back out as far as Shane Fives, blocked down brilliantly. That's a good block by Walter Welch. Comes as far as Colin Fennelly, stumbles, unable to get it up under control, and taking it out of danger is Jamie Barron. Barron pursued by two Kilkenny players, drifts that ball backwards, gives it away here, gives it to Ger Aylward, who's already scored 1 point in the second half, tries to set himself up for another one. In as far as TJ Reid, Reid's looking at the target, and I think that one has gone right across the face of goal. For a moment I thought the goalkeeper might have got a touch on it, but he didn't do so, and that was a wonderful goal opportunity for TJ Reid. Stays at 113 to 12 points. Back out as far as Kevin Moran, trying to set himself up. 3 men against him, gets their shot in, but it's not a really good one. Hangs there nicely for the goalkeeper to come to take, aware that he might be hooked by Maurice Shanahan. Gets it out as far as Killian Buckley, and Buckley sweeps it back down towards Ger Aylward, rising up for that one with his marker Noel Connors. Walter Welch comes in, trying to prod the ball away. The number 10 in there in the thick of that one. In the end, it's Jamie Barron for 4 Mile Water, the UCC student, who comes out, and it's Austin Gleeson who carries it on. Gleeson runs into traffic over there. Killian Buckley in the thick of it. Likewise Conor Fogarty, and Fogarty's clearance to a 2-man inside forward line. TJ Reid and Richie Hogan comes back towards Reid, and he recycles it back further as far as Walter Welch. Welch is robbed of that one. Great movement back that time to take it away from him. Michael Welch doing a lot of the hard work. They get it back as far as goalkeeper Stephen O'Keefe. Kilkenny competing vigorously. Waterford finding it difficulty getting any kind of easy openings, an easy opportunity to get possession. Michael Fennelly back there as far as Buckley once again. Back into the heart of the Waterford defence once more. Dara Fives reached in for it, doesn't get it. Ger Aylward does, and Aylward sweeps onto it and fires it over the bar. He's got a second in the second half, and Kilkenny extend their lead, and they're now suddenly ahead by 5, and it's a little ominous for the Dacia.
Yeah, since half-time, Ger, they've really upped the ante a little bit, and you know, they've moved the ball a bit quicker, and at times looking down when the ball was being contested in the middle of the field or in Kilkenny's half-back line, they ended up then with 2-on-2 inside against Waterford, and that's not where you want to be for the Waterford defence.
From the puck out, down towards Shane Bennett. Couldn't hold on to it, however. Padraig Welch made sure that he went across, got possession, flicks it inside, found as he was doing so. Referee allows an advantage. Walter Welch hits it high up into the air. De Bourke comes, takes. Out once again as far as Dara Fives. Back into a 2-man inside forward line now. Way down there towards Maurice Shanahan. Fumble, and there's support. And that ball in the end is hit a little off balance by Colin Dunford and over the bar. Good point by Dunford, his first in the match, and that is one that Waterford very, very badly needed. Joey Holden couldn't win it. Dunford worked hard, got possession over his right shoulder and over the bar as well.
Yeah, great pressure from Maurice Shanahan there on Joey Holden, made sure he couldn't catch it and bring it out, and Dunford did the rest when he got it. Dunford, great pace, goes sure if he gets a little break, you know, once he gets away from the defence, he'll be gone. Not the greatest of finishers, but he's working very, very, very hard.
And he's now in a more advanced position in the second half. That's one of the changes that Derek McGrath has certainly made. I think deciding we've got to give it a go here now. We've shown we can compete with Kilkenny. Now can we beat them?
Well, Waterford are in a no-lose situation, Joe, really. I mean, the thing is, if they're beaten, you know, so what? Like, everybody would expect Kilkenny to win, but it'll be a great learning process for the youngsters. You know, coming up against Kilkenny in a big game, they learn so much, and that's what Derek McGrath's year is all about. I mean, getting a good year under your belt, learning a little bit and being a little bit better next year.
Brian Cody isn't too impressed by the fact that Austin Gleeson was taking time to get some treatment there from the physio, Conor McCarthy. He's back on his feet once again in midfield, and this is won by Kevin Moran. Takes off. Typical Kevin Moran, looks around him to see who to give the ball to. Gives it to a recovered Austin Gleeson. Down towards Maurice Shanahan, competing there, and coming across the sweep is Paul Murphy. That's exactly what we anticipated he might do. Killian Buckley has it. Back in, 20 metres out from the Waterford goal once more. De Burka fumbles, gets it again, however, pursued by Larkin. Hand passes it back out as far as Philip Mahoney. Back out to a loose man. That loose man is Dunford, trying to get away. Richie Hogan's after him, tries to hook him, succeeds. Bottles him up. Up comes Killian Buckley. Then given away as far as Jamie Barron. 4 between them. Barron strikes from 65 metres out. Where's this going to go? Straight into the goalkeeper's hands, that's where. Owen Murphy back out as far as Paul Murphy, his namesake. Different clubs. Into the middle of the field, fumbled by Michael Fennelly. That was enough to allow Jake Dillon get in, put in a challenge, give it to Austin Gleeson, and Gleeson from the middle of the field strikes it. Goalkeeper bats it down, able to go after it himself as well. Keeps it away there from Maurice Shanahan, and out safely as far as Paul Murphy. And the man who's playing his 25th championship match gets it out here to the middle as far as Conor Fogarty, sweeping it up to top of the left there. Across goes Barry Coughlin, needing support. Tadhg de Burka and Coughlin almost getting in a muddle there, and this time it's Tadhg de Burka who takes responsibility on his young shoulders. He's only 20, all the way down here. Picking it up is Michael Fennelly, former All-Ireland winning captain. Richie Hogan across here. Well, this is a bit exaggerated in the approach Kilkenny are taking. Pádraig Welch, where's it going to end up? In Larkin's hands. Now how's it going to finish? Steadying his feet, looking at the target and pinging it over the bar. After all of that, Larkin's first. They were in control all the time.
Well, that was all down to Richie Hogan. You know, he held the ball, he looked across, he could see that Pádraig Welch was the outlet player there. Hit a lovely ball across to him, a little bit over his head, but Pádraig Welch knew exactly who was free. Larkin was standing there for a good 20 seconds and pinged it over the bar, and that's Kilkenny at their best.
This is Joey Holden, played here in the club final back on St Patrick's Day, giving it out to Killian Buckley from inside his own 45, looking up, but then not able to locate a colleague. Instead, Dara Fives nips in. Jamie Barron back to Tadhg de Burka again. He's had an awful lot of possessions, worked really hard, very effectively. Philip Mahoney involved in this. Jamie Barron loses it, helped out here in the end by Shane Fives. Back once again to the aforementioned Philip Mahoney. Down once more, down towards Shane Bennett. Picks it up, spills it out there towards Maurice Shanahan. Prodded away from him by Killian Buckley, helped out by Michael Fennelly. Stopped there initially by Colin Dunford, not very effectively, because Killian Buckley from Dixborough has it once again. To a loose man, to the totally unmarked Richie Hogan, and Hogan just settles his feet and does what is not typical. He sends it wide, and it stays at 115 to 13 points. 49 minutes are gone.
Well, Richie Hogan, that was a great move. It was, you know, they telegraphed it for a long time. Hogan was looking for the ball from Michael Fennelly, but he was stopped up. But Richie should have just come in 10 yards in field that time. Loads of chance to make himself a better angle, but poor wide from him, really.
This is touchdown here off the stick of Kevin Moran, but waiting for his Conor Fogarty. Energised, knocking it down towards TJ Reid. Shane Fives goes back behind, takes possession. Back out by Noel Connors, out as far as Dara Fives. And Fives back down once again towards Shane Bennett, competing in there. Back to try and rescue this one is Joey Holden. 2 men against him to stop him, but he still managed to get it out. As far as Killian Buckley, does really well. Good composed play at the back there. Shane Bennett down injured as Michael Fennelly launches the next Kilkenny attack in the 50th minute, putting Philip Mahoney under pressure there with Owen Larkin there, but Tadhg de Burka back helping. Dropped by Austin Gleeson, recovered and picked up by Jerry Aylward. And this team, he fires it away to the left-hand side. And a couple of untypical misses now by Kilkenny. They are 5 in front, but it's not an insurmountable lead by any manner of means with 20 minutes to go.
No, Jerry Aylward there. Pádraig Welch knew exactly what he wanted to do. Aylward was free, he just wanted to knock it down to it, but Aylward could have ran another 10 or 15 yards. There was nobody around him, just to make things easier for him. Hit it a bit quickly and hit it wide.
I think Austin Gleeson is in trouble. He's down receiving attention for the second time now as play continues, and Colin Dunford comes in on the angle and hits it over, and he's got a second. The 20-year-old from Colligan getting into the match much more in this second half, out there at right corner forward, and he's made it 115 to 14 points. Well, Waterford fans all around the ground here, in a crowd of over 41,000, still believe it is possible. Right now they're down to 14 players because Austin Gleeson is still getting attention. Waterford have it back. Dara Fives into the middle, in as far as Maurice Shanahan, but he's come to his own 65-metre line to get possession. Now he's the provider. Kilkenny have a sweeper back there, however. That's Paul Murphy. Bats it out, not terribly well. Back in comes Dunford once again. And there's another one. 3 for Dunford in the second half. Another for Waterford. Now look at the score. It's 115 to 15 points, and there's loads of time left. Who's got the strong finish?
Yeah, well, Waterford have moved Maurice Shannon out to centre forward now, and have moved Michael Brick-Walsh into the inside line. He's standing at left corner forward at the moment, and Dunford has great pace. As I said, he's coming on the balls, and that's 3 scores in quick succession. And Kilkenny are a little bit wasteful, I have to say, but you'd have to say that Waterford are getting a grip now and maybe can come back in if they don't make any mistakes.
Well, that's a mistake made there by Jamie Barron, as Waterford were trying to work it out, a defence in measured fashion, and it didn't work out because it's another point for Richie Hogan. First of the second half, third in all, and once again Waterford have to start climbing this mountain once more. It's 116 to 15 points, and there is a change, and Patrick Curran, this very, very talented young player, is coming on, and he's coming on in place of Jake Dillon. So that is the first of the substitutions. You may remember him from the great minor team of 2 years ago. UCC student Patrick Curran. So on for Dillon. Can he make a difference? That ball is won once again in their own half-back line by Michael Fennelly, and he took too long over it. The challenge brushed aside. Michael Brick-Walsh feeding it in, not taken by Kevin Moran, taken instead by Pádraig Welch. Looks up, sees that Aylward was unmarked and he couldn't control it. Mistakes all around the place. Walter Welch now, back in towards Colin Fennelly, 2 against 1. Doesn't reach it. Stephen O'Keefe now has a chance to look up and spot where there's a loose man with a Waterford shirt on, and he gives it to a Kilkenny man, Ger Aylward, and there were 3 possible players he could have played that ball to, the goalkeeper. Instead, the pressure is going to be back on Waterford once again, and it's Michael Fennelly off his left-hand side and over the bar. Mistakes are being punished. That should have been a Waterford ball. Instead, it's another Kilkenny point, and once again they stretch their lead to 5.
Yeah, and the mistakes on Waterford now are adding up a little bit. Great point there from Michael Fennelly. But Waterford, if they just run at Kilkenny, they could, could prove a little bit beneficial for them.
Austin Gleeson has got renewed life, recovered from injury, and another point. That's his 3rd. He may not be 100% fit at this stage, but they need him. And the 20-year-old has put that one over Owen Murphy's crossbar. So back to a 4-point game once again. Quick puck out as far as Pádraig Welch. Lots of gaps, playing sweepers and so on, leaving lots of free players in other parts of the field. And from short build-out, they're able to work it forward here. Michael Fennelly almost crashing into an opponent. It's still Fennelly trying to lay it back here towards Richie Hogan. In came Dara Fives, and Fives goes down under the weight of the challenge from Colin Fennelly, which wasn't a legal one, and the cheers you're hearing are Waterford cheers. They're free, they're 4 points down, they're giving it a go against the reigning All-Ireland champions, and my goodness, is it physical.
Yeah, well, hand across from Colin Fennelly there, and once you're moving and you're using your hands, Gerard, the referee will always penalise that. You need to be standing straight with your hands out and hope that to come into contact with the player. But Waterford aren't out of this game by any manner of means, but I think Kilkenny will have to move the ball a little bit shorter.
That's moved in there, and it's stopped once again, and Paul Murphy, steady as a rock, gives it away, however, because Pádraig Welch is waiting on it, and that's critical because Colin Dunford was in quick as a flash, and he puts it over the bar. And he's got another one, he's got a 4th. And that was again from a mistake, this time a Kilkenny mistake, playing the ball out, Pádraig Welch waiting for it, in came Dunford, and now there's 3 between them. 117 for Kilkenny, 17 points for Waterford, and 15 minutes to go in the first of the All-Ireland Hurling semi-finals, coming to you live on the Sunday game from Croke Park. TJ Reid, hand passing it back towards Michael Fennelly, leaving it there for Killian Buckley. For the champions, hanging in the air. Walter Welsh goes in after it, runs in, and Aylward has missed it. A goal opportunity, and that might have put it beyond Waterford's reach. Stays at 117 to 17 points.
Well, all that came from the break of Walter Welsh going up for the ball, and when it broke, you'd expect Aylward just to flick it through, but he was going away from the goal and just lost control at a vital stage. But that's certainly a goal chance, big chance gone for Kilkenny.
Austin Gleeson hits this one wide. Well, calm heads are going to be required now on both sides to ensure a passage to the All-Ireland final in just 4 weeks' time. And coming into the action now is going to be Stephen Bennett, and the player he's replacing in his younger brother Shane. So number 11 is on. Brian Cody knew that change would probably be made. Scored a very nice point in the first half, but now his 19-year-old brother is replacing him. Let's see, will it make a difference? Very much to play for. Kilkenny come again. Ger Aylward. Oof. Ger Aylward goes down injured. The referee, I think, has he blown his whistle? It's gone wide, that ball. And Ger Aylward is going to need treatment, I think.
Well, that's a great example, Ger, of the no advantage rule in that. Ger Aylward gets a little flick here, we'll see a bit late, right? And the ball fell to Richie Hogan, who hit it wide.
It was Kevin Moran who collided with him there, but the referee allowed play to continue, I imagine.
Yeah, I think he did, and then when, you know, Richie Hogan had a free shot, so that was the advantage, and if it went over the bar, fine, but it went wide, so, you know, no, you can't get the advantage back. If it's rugby, you get your shot back from the goal, right, and GA players will learn that to Ger eventually, just to lose the ball and take their advantage.
The way TJ Reid is playing, Kilkenny might have preferred to have had a free that time. Anyway, at the other end, it's Colin Dunford. Dunford against a couple of opponents. He's playing really well at this stage, but that time, as Paul Murphy was coming out in front of him there was, I think he was distracted just a little bit and put that ball wide. Only Waterford's second wide of the second half, their fifth in all. 12 minutes to go. And they'll be hoping they'll be back in 4 weeks' time, but will they be here to support Waterford? Kilkenny have the advantage right now. Owen Larkin into open play here to Austin Gleeson, and then hits it down, intended for Stephen Bennett, but not a very good pass. Killian Buckley swept onto it quickly, one-handed inside. Michael Fennelly back in towards Walter Welsh, fumbles, surrounded immediately, and like wasps all around a cat, they swarm in on top of him, and eventually the referee blows his whistle and will throw it in. Well, stays at 117 to 17 points. Good
chance there. Michael Fennelly did everything right, but the pass, you know, when you're 6'4", we'll see he came onto it. When you're 6'4", you need to pass a point. Was dying. Walter Walsh miscontrolled it then because it was down near his ankles.
TJ Reid's pass to Ger Aylward, having missed a goal chance a little while ago, makes absolutely sure with this next opportunity that came his way, and he's now got 3 points in this All-Ireland semi-final, having a great season. 3-5 the first day, 3 points the next day in the Leinster final, and 3 today so far. 4 between them. Killian Buckley, he's getting a lot of possession. Towards TJ Reid, goes down. Not sure was he tricked by his own man that time. Richie Hogan plays it back as far as Michael Fennelly. Stands his ground. High challenge. Back in this time as far as Joey Holden. Into Richie Hogan again, and over the bar. Another one for Kilkenny, who are now coming good at this critical stage of the match. 2 points in each half for Richie Hogan, the 27-year-old, and now the lead is out to 5 again.
Yeah, that's the thing about Kilkenny, Ger. You know, Joey Holden played wing back last year, very comfortable on the ball, and his opponent dragged him back into the Waterford defence, and he was there to release Richie Hogan for a tremendous point. And you know, Kilkenny may up the pace a little bit now, and will shoot from out the field.
Waterford look tired. They're back defending, and there's no defending that by Richie Hogan, and he's just got his fifth. In space, nobody marking him, and fans all over the ground cheering that point. He's made it 120 to 17 points, and is that break at this time enough to see Kilkenny now through to this year's All-Ireland hurling final? Again, ball runs as far as Paul Murphy, picking up everything in behind that line of defenders. Ty de Borca put under pressure this time by Jerry Elwood, but the referee said you fouled the Waterford man. Free down for Waterford. And you get the feeling now they need a goal to come in their favour in this match.
Yeah, well, I think Richie Hogan has dropped back out around the middle of the field, even though he's, you know, supposed to be playing around centre forward. Colin Fennelly is out at right half forward. TJ Reid is at left half forward, and Owen Larkin is playing out as more or less as a double centre forward. That gives them a very, very powerful half forward line. And then with Walter Walsh and Jerry Elwood inside, they have height and they have pace. So I think that with the space now that they'll move on and maybe score a bit more and move away from Waterford.
And all this while, Richie Hogan, as you were mentioning, nobody at all marking him, having the freedom of the park as that ball is thrown in. 30 metres out from the Kilkenny goal. Maurice Shanahan trying to advance in there as well. Colin Dunford. And again, the referee has got to throw it in.
I have a particular problem with this rule, Jar, I'll be honest with you. I think at this stage the ref should just place the ball on the ground if there's a rule, and both players have to pull. Both players are trying to get possession by rising the ball here, and then everybody comes in. All players are supposed to be at least 13 metres back, bar the two in for it, right? But I think it makes a shambles of these throw-ins.
Dunford has it, and this one has gone left. That's the second one he's put astray after a run of scores. Colin Dunford feeling his side there. They could have done with that just to keep them more in the match heading into the final stages.
The young player just lacks a little bit of composure at times. Might have been better off just to run straight at the post and hope to get a free, or just to tap the ball over the bar.
Paul Murphy able to take it out of defence and wallop it way downfield. Attacked there by Philip Mahoney, but not one. Michael Fennelly instead has a quick look up. Mahoney's after him, tried to hook him. Can't succeed, and that one has drifted away left once more. And another one has gone astray. 30 years of age now. Michael Fennelly, of course, captained the team to success in 2009. Wasn't a regular player at that stage on the side, and 2 years later was Hurler of the Year. The kind of progress Kilkenny sometimes produce and expect among their great players.
Yeah, Jaron, he missed the Leinster final as well and wasn't fit, so you know he'll be feeling the last 10 minutes particularly, but he's a player who'll never let you down. He's always there on the big occasions, and certainly a huge player for Kilkenny.
Maurice Shanahan couldn't catch it the first time, went back out to try and get it the second, but then in the centre is Kieran Joyce, robbed by Maurice Shanahan. He wasn't going to give up. Good play. Back in here as far as Austin Gleeson, over his shoulder. Can they try and keep it in play now with Dunford down there? And was he in the square? I think he might have been. Square ball given against him. Well, Austin Gleeson has played his heart out. I think he is suffering from an injury which he sustained some time ago.
And that's the 9th ball, Jerry. Just taking notes here. That's the 9th ball that has dropped into the hands of Owen Murphy, and you know that's a big tally when you're on attack, and when you're 5 or 6 points down. You know, 2 or 3 of those that might have gone over the bar, or might have been played a little bit differently, would have made a difference in the end. But you'd have to see that, you know, Kilkenny will probably strangle the game from here on in.
Well, they played in deep defence all season, and perhaps that happens when you do that. This kind of in-depth defensive approach that they have had. Cut down on the number of goals they've conceded, certainly. They have managed to put up big scores in matches. Jamie Barron. Big one down. It's going to drop to the goalkeeper again. What's that up, Donald? That is number?
That's number 10 now, Jar.
There you go. Always helps to have a guy alongside you who's done honours mats in the leaving cert. Ty de Borca. Oof. Under pressure from TJ Reid. Walter Welch coming. Barry Coughlin trying to keep him at bay. And that's a difficult thing to do. 2 against 1, and then in come Owen Larkin to help out. Again, a little pile up here. All this while, only 4.5 minutes to go, and all this while, very much advantage Kilkenny, heading for another All-Ireland final, it would appear. Barring a miracle for Waterford at this stage. And we're not talking about loaves and fishes, we're talking about goals and points. Back out it comes here to Jerry Elwood. Right on the sideline. Has a crack, has a go. Settled his feet brilliantly and pinged it over the bar, and he's got a 4th. And that's Kilkenny's 4th point from play now, without reply. And Waterford's challenge has just begun to fizzle out a little. Shane Fives from that puck out. They're going for goals at this stage. They'll try to land it in the square there, inside towards Maurice Shanahan. Shanahan trying to hand pass it back here. Michael Welch trying to break through, and the high challenge this time by Joey Holden on him, but he was outside the large rectangle. Free from 20 metres. Yellow card for Joey Holden. I think it's just the second yellow card issued in the game.
Yeah, well, that's obviously what else would a full-back do, Gerard. He's not going to, at this stage, 6 points up, 7 points up, you know, you're not going to give away a goal-scoring chance. And Joey Holden there picking up the yellow card. Maurice Shannon maybe tempted maybe to go for a goal from this one.
Well, he has to, hasn't he? 10 minutes since Waterford scored. 4 minutes to go. They're behind by 7, and he puts it over the bar. Bit of an anticlimax. 9 points for Maurice Shanahan. They all look a little bit weary now at this stage in the blue and white of Waterford. That's a yellow card, as we mentioned, for Joey Holden. And John Power comes on for Kilkenny, number 22, and he replaces Walter Welch.
And this is the problem now, Gerard, for the Waterford defence. John Power, you know, he'll be hoping to play well in the last 4 or 5 minutes here and stake a claim for the full forward position, maybe for our corner forward for the All-Ireland final. Did well there last year, and you know, he'll up the ante a little bit now for Kilkenny.
But straight away it's Waterford who win that first ball that comes down. Shane Fives out here as far as Michael Brick Welch, captain in 2008 when Waterford, of course, reached the All-Ireland final, only to be beaten that year by Kilkenny. And it's a long, long time since his county was beaten by the Dacia in a championship match. You've got to go back to the All-Ireland final replay of 1959. And he looks like he's decided it's one of those days. Not going to happen for our team. 3 minutes to go.
Well, I think if you had asked the Waterford supporters, you know, they'll win the league and they'll get to the semi-final and they'll do well against Kilkenny, would they have taken that? I know that they're not happy when you're beaten, but I think that will be, you know, we're not talking about success here, but we're talking about advancement and a bit of learning, and I think that Waterford will be happy enough for that.
That was a great catch and a brave catch by Stephen O'Keefe. Kilkenny want to play on, but the goalkeeper is clearly injured. Came out and showed courage that time to collect that one. Let's watch it again here. All eyes on the ball here, and Richie Hogan thundered into him, in there to challenge. They're not going to stand back. They may be goalkeepers, but they're going to be challenged for possession.
Well, Gerard, if you look at that closer, you see that Shane Fives gave Richie a little push there, like, which you know, pushed on momentum onto him. So the collision was a little bit fiercer. Watch, just a little push there you see on Richie Hogan, and he collides into Stephen O'Keefe. Stephen O'Keefe completely open, and nobody likes to see players being injured like that. But if you're on the field to play, really, like, and as a forward, particularly if it's the beginning of the match, you see that as a little bit of a bonus. 3 out for Waterford, but bravery from Stephen O'Keefe. But he's a very, very, very brave keeper anyway. But it just slows down the game and kills the momentum a little bit more.
Well, he's been one of the stars of Derek McGrath's team, a team that Derek created this year. And as you mentioned earlier, they've made great progress. This will be just their second defeat in 12 matches, and that's some record. Stephen O'Keefe all the way down as far as Stephen Bennett. Picked up by Richie Hogan, however. And like a conductor, just in charge of the orchestra, making sure that everybody plays as they're supposed to play. Colin Fennelly knows a tune or two. Well, that one doesn't reach TJ Reid. 2 points in the second half for TJ Reid, but he did the damage in the first half, getting a goal and 7, and keeping Kilkenny very firmly in touch all the way along. Shane Fives. Big, huge one, dropping down into the square once again. And once more, it's Paul Murphy. Indestructible. Clearance as far as Philip Mahoney reaches up ahead of his opponent, Ger Aylward, that time. And then, as he was making a beeline towards the opposing goal, fouled by Aylward. Ger Aylward's been a player that we've seen quite a bit in the recent years. Great under-21 player, had a lot of injuries last year, didn't make the breakthrough then.
Yeah, and has really increased his fitness levels there. You know, he looks like a new player, very, very fresh, very enthusiastic. And again, he's just stuck with his player there, and Philip Mann, he could not release the ball to somebody in a better position, and they get a free now, which is just going to be a hit and hope, and you know, drop it into the square and hope for something from it. But I would have expected Maurice Shannon maybe to be in the edge of the square and somebody else to hit this one.
Well, it's a 6-point game as Morris takes it, and we're into 2 minutes of added time, and that's flicked wide, and it's going to be a puck out for Owen Murphy, and they can now prepare once again for another trip to the All-Ireland finals. 14th time in 17 years. Fans happy. Now they'll be looking forward to getting tickets and getting back here in early September. Who will it be against, Tip or Galway? That match, of course, live on the Sunday game next Sunday afternoon. Big one. Shane Fives back as far as Philip Mahoney, and further back as far as a recovered Stephen O'Keefe. Only 2 points between the teams and at the end of the first half. But Kilkenny have looked stronger throughout the second 35 minutes, 36 at this stage. Kevin Moran, great warrior that he is, wins that free, taken quickly down towards Maurice Shanahan, runs through his fingers, however, and this time picking it up is Shane Prendergast. All over the sideline, but it touched a Waterford player last. So the final 30 seconds of this, Kilkenny have done exactly what they intended to do, and that is to reach this year's All-Ireland final. I'm sure they will say that they will have to up their performance. It's interesting, their subs list doesn't have an awful lot of experience. Included among the subs today, Brian Cody's son Diarmid, under-21 player. That's cut in by Killian Buckley towards Aylward. Shane Fives takes it instead, trying to get away and trying to maybe get the last score of this match. They'll be disappointed to have lost the semi-final, but they've had a great season. Michael Brick-Walsh, Noel Connors, big one. They'd look for a goal here if they can get it, but again that one has gone outside, and it's all over, and Kilkenny have beaten Waterford, and they take another step towards retaining the McCarthy Cup. It'll be their 9th appearance in the final in the last 10 years. Brian Cody, of course, firmly at the helm once again, congratulating Derek McGrath and the Waterford management team. It'll be the 14th time that Brian Cody as manager has led them to the final. Waterford's great year concludes at the penultimate stage. TJ Reid, a goal and 9 points to his credit. And this is how it's finished. Kilkenny 121, Waterford 18 points. Well, Donald, overall, how would you assess Kilkenny's performance this afternoon?
Well, I think they played like real champions. They had their match won, and they just made sure that they stayed in position the last 20 minutes. They worked the ball around, got a few vital scores, didn't overtax themselves, but I think that's what good teams and good players do. They worked the ball well, and I think just that Waterford system just ran out of steam a little bit, and they came up against a juggernaut. It would be the first time, Joe, that they would have met players of the calibre of the forwards of Kilkenny, who harry and hassle and put them under pressure. They weren't able to pick out the men up front, but you'd say that a very credible performance from Waterford. They won't be happy, obviously, when you're beaten, but they will see it as a great learning process for next year.
Stephen O'Keefe down there doesn't want to leave the field. Very, very disappointed, as you can imagine. That goal by TJ Reid coming after 17 minutes. At that stage, it gave Kilkenny a boost. It gave them a platform upon